Welcome to One World News. Firstly, I would like to know what are some of the good qualities that you would like to have a blogger to inculcate in their blogs?
So to have a successful blog, I can tell you that there are a few do's and don'ts, but the important do's actually consist of being able to have your own point of view on something and have your own voice. The way in which you tell that particular story or write that article has to be something which is your own. The second part of it is being as regular and consistent, and even if that means establishing a rhythm which is only let's say once a week, or in some cases maybe just twice a month, as long as readers know when to expect content from you, they will know when to come and check in with you. And they will devote a certain part of their schedule to being able to take out that 5 minutes to read the content that you've written. And the third rule of engagement is actually that of engagement. So being able to respond to your readers' comments, being able to read other people who are actually writing content and engaging with them is a very important means of getting more readers to come into your blog.
Coming to that, you just said that it's really important that you publish on a certain, you have to have consistency when you're publishing. So how frequent you think a blogger should be? Because a lot of times we see that, we start a blog but then they're not publishing regularly.
Yeah, I would say that in today's day and age where everything moves fast, people move on and they tend to forget. Anything less than twice a month is likely to just go, and it will not form a schedule for anybody else, and your work is likely to go unnoticed.
What do you think a blogger should write basically on? Something that interests people or something that interests the blogger himself?
It's interesting that you asked that because I've been thinking about it. In many cases, if you start out as writing something which is important to you, I think that's a great way to start because it helps to open up your voice. But then beyond a point, if you feel, and you can easily sense, you can see the statistics and see that people, whether they are reading your content or they are not reading your content. I think beyond a point, if people are not actually engaging with your content, then you know that you are pretty much writing almost like a private diary in the public space. And there isn't very much point to that, according to me. So I would say start out by knowing what you have to say, but listen to know if it's relevant to other people.
How important do you think is it to market the blog, and how exactly to market the blog?
Yeah. So I'll say that depends entirely on what role that blog plays in your life. So in my case, I have a personal blog, but that blog serves as a way for me to connect to my readers. So I do find the need to, if I have written a post which I think my readers would like, to publish it on other social media and make sure that it reaches people. So to that extent, I think promotion does become important if there is a piece of content that you want specifically to reach out to an audience. But if you're writing more for the passion and for the sake of it, or you expect people to be able to find it because it's content that they're looking for, then you don't really need to actively market it.
So from blogs, you have now moved on to writing books. So how different or similar are the two?
They are very different from each other. So I know that there is this misconception that if you write blogs, then beyond a period of time you can make the jump to publishing a book. But it's actually a very, very, very big leap. Okay, so in my case, I found that, and I made that mistake because my first book, I picked up a lot of stuff that I'd actually written on the blog over a period of years and tried to kind of piece it together. But a book doesn't work really without the basic structure of a plot and a character, a storyline, a climax. And those are things which are very, very different, and they require a different mastery of writing to be able to accomplish. So I would say they are very different from each other.
But do you think that since you were already into blogging, it helped you write a good book?
Yeah. So where blogging helped me a lot was in giving me the confidence that I could write because I got appreciation. I think it gave me my first set of readers because those people had been clamoring for a while that, oh, you write so well, so you should write a book. Yeah. And the third area where it helped me was to identify the subject matter for my first book, because I knew that people found stories about my husband really funny. So my first book, Just Married Please Excuse, was actually an autobiographical account of our early years of marriage. Yeah. That was the role that it played in my life, and subsequently the role it plays is to help me connect with my readers and to get their viewpoint on what I should write next. But I wouldn't say that beyond that it was something which played a very, very strong role towards the publishing aspect of the book.
I think one big difference between blog and books is that when you are blogging, you get instant response. People can just comment over there and tell you what exactly they think about it, but that's not really there in case of a book. They really have to read,
But something, I'll tell you what, in the category of books which I write, which are basically, light commercial fiction, okay, they're humorous romance novels, they are like in-flight reading. So somebody will pick it up on a train or on a flight, and by
Yeah.
the time they finish the journey, they've also finished the book. So I have found that while the lead time in terms of getting the book published is a long time, once the book is out, the feedback starts coming in very fast.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's so much, it's so different in terms of the interactivity or the speed of response that you get.
Also, how do you think, what you think is the best way to handle the negative comments or feedback that you get from people? Because a lot of times either the blogger ends up deleting it,
Yeah.
or they don't know exactly how to accept it. So
Yeah.
how do you think?
You know, people have different ways of dealing with it. Okay, I know there are some bloggers who respond to that particular trollish comment and it becomes a long argument,
Yeah.
and they tear down that commenter. Okay, but that's an investment of time. So
Yeah.
you know, if a blogger wants to address it that way, they have to be clear it's going to take a lot of time. Other people choose to ignore it. I actually tend to fall in that category where I'm like, हाँ ठीक है, बोला है, बकवास बोला है, let it just be there. You know,
Okay.
I may or may not delete it. I don't really see the point in deleting it either. The third, which I really like, is what Gul Panag does. So if somebody trolls her on Twitter, she just retweets it,
Okay.
and then her fans jump on that particular guy. So she just leaves it to people who would support her. But I think more than that, it's the attitude and the confidence with which she just does it. She says, "You're talking nonsense. Here, let the world know about it."
Yeah. So you just told us some of the really good qualities of a good blog. What about books?
A book, I think, has to, you know, any book, according to me, has a certain formula. And that formula is that it has to have a character whom you can relate to. Okay, so that's the first and foremost, most important point. If you don't have a character that you can relate to
Yeah.
and establish an emotional equation with very early, the reader is not going to read on. Okay, then there is the element of having a certain problem in the story. Okay, and this is now being taught at very early ages. My 8-year-old daughter comes and asks me, what is the problem in the story, in order to be able to comprehend what it is.
Yeah.
Okay? So there is always a certain situation that is facing the main character that you have to make the main point of your story. And then ideally there should be some growth or change in your character as the story progresses. So I'm not talking about the obvious stuff like, you know, there has to be that climax and a
Yeah.
resolution. But for me the most interesting thing is that if you can build in that there is a growth in the character, then that is when a story can be really successful.
According to you, what are some really good books and blogs which young generation should follow?
You know what? I have found that the blogs that I read tend to be more of the non-fiction variety.
Okay.
And I find that they really help you to sort out your head when you need some intervention. So one of the blogs I really like is something written by an author called Eric Baka.
Okay.
And it is Baka de Suyo. So I think the Japanese word, which I am not sure what it means.
Okay.
But BAKADESUYO.
Okay.
And it's a brilliant blog full of happiness advice backed by research. So that is actually the most favorite blog for me right now, which I would recommend to anybody. And as far as books are concerned, I'd say I've read a couple of books which have really stayed with me in the last couple of years. Apart from the Khaled Hosseini book that has come out, I would say that The Sense of an Ending is a very nice novella, so it doesn't even require too much time, but it's
Okay.
a book that has really stuck with me. And then there are all-time favorites that I have, like The Thornbirds, which are just rereads and rereads and rereads.
If we talk about monetary benefits, do you think a blogger can really earn well through blogs?
I know that some bloggers are earning very well,
Yeah.
and this is largely because there are a lot of brands who are looking to associate with bloggers because they are they're influencers in the social media space. So I know that there are many times when brands reach out and they offer to pay a certain amount of money for a post on a particular topic. But the thing to be careful about is that you could lose your readership if your blog becomes too commercialized. So I'm very, very picky about the work that I actually take on, whether it's a product review or a piece of content that a brand has asked me to write.
Lastly, I would like to ask you, how important do you think it is to do a good research before writing a blog?
It entirely depends. So in my case, if I'm writing an incident which is about either parenting or being a wife or something about the writing life, it's completely based on my own experience and it has very little research. Somebody who is writing about maybe a movie has to have a certain point of view and an ability to dissect that movie. But the research involved there is actually just going and watching
Yeah.
the movie. So I don't think that in general there is very much research required to write a blog post. But that again depends on from topic to topic.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.